Stud is undoubtedly one of the best songs released by Troye Sivan. Utilizing elements of house and electropop, Stud takes us through a dynamic and psychedelic story that not only resonates as an album highlight, but also showcases how well Troye Sivan has mastered the art of conceptual pop music. As we shed light on the brilliance of Stud, I believe it's also important to discuss the brilliance of the body of work it's connected to. Stud was released on August 21st, 2020, as part of the 6-song tracklist compiling the In a Dream EP. In a Dream is a project that intentionally lacks a full narrative in a way that allows us as listeners to make sense of the plot holes, either through context clues or through our own individual yet similar experiences. What I love about In a Dream, and especially Stud, is that it gives pop music lovers something to dance and cry to, while also giving pop music analysts a puzzle to solve. You can simply enjoy the EP's mainstream appeal, or you can become interactive with the project, inserting your personal life journeys to the story, and making sense of the EP's narrative in a way that makes a unique experience for you. Troye describes In a Dream as a time capsule. And while there is a thematic connection that glues the tracklist together, we learn that each song could be thought of as its own snapshot, giving us a glimpse of what Troye's life was like during the aftermath of a devastating breakup. Take Yourself Home is the first song on the EP. It's a reflective track about what it means to lose yourself in the pursuit of happiness. It was one of the first tracks written for In a Dream. And there are moments in the song that serve as subtle hints that Troye is singing about a dying relationship. Easy is a retro-inspired breakup song. It's mainly culminated by a sense of regret and sadness, and it embodies the emotions we feel during the initial phase of a breakup. Could Cry Just Thinking About You has always resonated as a confessional moment. With this 52-second song, Troye uses simplicity in the production and lyrics to establish a deeper mood. He embodies an authentic level of vulnerability, and this leads us to the 4th track on the EP, Stud. While In a Dream is not a full narrative on its own, I do feel like Could Cry Just Thinking About You was used to smoothly transition us from Easy to Stud. If we are thinking of In a Dream as a time capsule, then Easy is the first snapshot we get of Troye's breakup. We can even use the visuals from Easy's music video to be literal and claim that the track is a snapshot of loneliness and sadness. As we hear Could Cry Just Thinking About You, Troye further embodies this sadness. Then at the end of the song, he says that he's about to experience what life on his own will be like. And this leads me to believe that Stud was meant to be that initial snapshot of Troye's life post-breakup. Stud is an electropop track that takes us through the story of Troye hooking up with someone who triggers his body image insecurities. One of the brilliant things about Stud is the way Troye and his producer Oscar Gores intentionally use polarizing elements to simultaneously embody sensuality and insecurity. The song starts and ends on a slow note, almost like a ballad. This initial stage of the song gives off a melancholic tone, but when we hear Troye's distorted vocals paired with the subject matter of the lyrics, some of the intimacy is stripped away from the track, and this hints that the intro is leading to something much bigger. We then have this shining moment in the second half of the intro, in which the production is further stripped down, the majority of Troye's vocals are unaltered, and we are taken in by this temporary sense of vulnerability. Troye starts to almost emulate the sadness we expressed in the last 2 tracks, and it is in this part of the song that we are introduced to the recurring themes of compensation and reassurance. Stud is a snapshot of the compulsive decisions we tend to make in the aftermath of a breakup. We have a tendency to seek short-term distractions as a way to compensate for the emptiness we feel, and if we don't moderate this with healthy habits, we can become reliant on feel-good moments. Stud is also a representation of the scope of beauty standards existent within the gay community. These standards can be toxic, they are never really discussed on a serious platform, and it's common for people of all shapes and sizes to overthink their physicality, especially when there seems to be different standards for tops, bottoms, and everything else in between. The way Troye is able to so easily weave together these 2 themes is astonishing, and as we progress through the following segments of the song, we really get to witness Troye fully utilize these themes, along with purposeful production tactics, to tell a compelling story. At the onset of the song's second phase, we begin to pick up the pace. We are introduced to a more dance-centric sound, and we are gifted with the most lyrically packed moment of the song. Here, Troye is not only telling a story, but he's painting a picture. He's describing a racing heartbeat as a car speeding on the highway. He's describing this highway as leading to Eden, and he's visualizing his body as an apple in that garden. This besides the bridge is my absolute favorite moment of the song. We only get to hear these lyrics twice, which helps to preserve their visual effect. They're extremely brilliant in an underhanded way, and Troye delivers these lyrics with such a monotone pitch that the cleverness here isn't overemphasized. From this moment on, the lyrical prowess begins to fade, as Oscar Gores uses the production to progress the setting of the story. I have always thought of Stud as a story with 3 different settings, the first of those being a metaphorical setting, Troye's mind. He's battling with his insecurities as he wonders if he'll be deemed good enough by someone he finds attractive. During the song's intro and outro, we sporadically hear a deep voice, and I've always interpreted this voice as the uncensored thoughts in the back of Troye's mind, telling us what he really thinks. The second setting is a dance club. While it isn't directly stated, we can fill the song's narrative by assuming Troye met this guy at a bar. As the song continues, we can take the mood translated from the now upbeat production and relate that to a fun night out that he may have had with this guy at said bar. The upbeat production could be a reference to the kind of music they were enjoying, and the constant distortion on Troye's vocals could even represent something like alcohol intake. Once we get to the bridge, we arrive at the third and final setting, a bedroom. It's at this point of the song that Troye's insecurities begin to resurface, and he finds himself once again seeking reassurance. He wants confirmation that this hookup is the right thing to do, and he more importantly wants confirmation that he's desirable. As the song ends on the same slow, introspective note that it began with, we witness Troye relapse with his insecurities. We see how things like compensation and reassurance can lack long-term benefits for our mental health, and we realize how easily our inner battles can take prominence when we don't conquer them. Stud is a marvelous song for many reasons. First, there's the realism. From what we've learned during his interviews, it seems that Stud may have been based on a concept rather than a real-life experience. It seems that Troye was inspired to talk about body image and felt that telling a story would be the best way to do it. While Stud may or not be a direct retelling of a moment in Troye's life, it's such a convincing track that you would think the song is an example of art imitating life. The themes and messages stemming from the song are relatable enough to connect with an audience, and the delivery of these themes serves as a conceptual bridge, ensuring that Stud remains thematically relevant to the other tracks on the Energy EP. On top of the down-to-earth level of relatableness here, we are also gifted with a song that feels over the top and theatrical. We get the perfect blend of upbeat vibes and down-tempo moments, and we get a story that feels dynamic yet balanced. With this song, we get to witness the product of a moment in Troye's life. Whether that moment was hooking up with someone or simply seeing someone on Tumblr, we still get to witness the product of that moment. We get the chance to reap the benefits of a story told through pop sounds, and we get the chance to use this story as a means to start conversations on subjects like hookup culture, beauty standards, and insecurities in relation to our communities. Above all else, Stud is a song that represents growth. It's a song that further establishes Troye Sivan and Oscar Gores as intellectual creators. It's a song that elevates the potential of what could be done within the scope of pop music. And if nothing else, Stud is simply brilliant.